to focus.
Maura Murray, 7 puzzling clues that don't add up. February 9th, 2004. A cold winter night in rural New Hampshire, a 21-year-old nursing student named Maura Murray crashes her car on a desolate mountain road. Witness approaching, woman refusing help. Empty car. A local bus driver stops to help. She refuses. He drives home, just a few hundred feet away, and calls 911. The police arrive 7 minutes later. Maura Murray is gone, vanished, as if she never existed. For over 20 years, her family has searched. Police have investigated. Online sleuths have theorized. And yet nobody knows what happened in those 7 minutes. 7 clues that don't add up. But here's what makes this case truly haunting. It's not the lack of evidence that's baffling. It's that the evidence doesn't make any sense. Today I'm breaking down the 7 most puzzling clues in the Maura Murray case. Clues that contradict each other, confuse investigators, and have turned this into one of the most debated mysteries on the internet. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is a deep dive that gets more mysterious with every clue. Let's start 4 days before Maura disappeared. The mysterious phone call. Thursday evening, February 5th, 2004. University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Maura Murray is working her shift at the campus security desk. It's a quiet job. Checking IDs, monitoring cameras, doing homework between tasks. A typical college evening. Around 10 p.m., the phone rings. Maura picks up. Her supervisor, who's in the next room, hears Maura's voice change. Something's wrong. When the supervisor walks in moments later, she finds Maura completely devastated. Not just crying, sobbing uncontrollably, unable to speak, hyperventilating, in a state of absolute shock. The supervisor tries to comfort her. What happened? What's wrong? But Maura can't even form words. Whatever she heard on that call reduced her to a state her coworkers had never seen before. The supervisor has to take over Maura's shift. Maura is too distraught to continue working. She's sent back to her dorm room. 4 days later, Maura would disappear. And that phone call? It's never been explained. So who called? Police investigated. They pulled phone records. The call came from a Red Cross calling card, one of those prepaid, untraceable cards you could buy at any store in 2004. Here's what makes this even stranger. Nobody in Maura's life admits to making that call. Not her boyfriend Billy, who was at his army base. Not her father, not her siblings, not her friends. Someone called Maura that night and said something so devastating, so shocking, that it broke her down completely. And whoever it was made sure they couldn't be traced. Was this call the trigger? Did someone threaten her? Give her terrible news? Lure her into a trap? Some investigators believe this phone call is the key to everything. If we knew what was said, we'd know why Maura left, where she was going, and possibly what happened to her. Mystery caller equals never identified. Clue number 2. The email lies Monday morning, February 9th, 2004. Now let's jump to Monday, February 9th, the day Maura disappeared. That morning, Maura wakes up and does something calculated. She sits down at her computer and sends a series of emails. First, she emails her professors, then her work supervisor at the art gallery, where she has a campus job. The message is simple and direct. Hi, there has been a death in my family. I need to leave campus for a week to deal with this emergency. I'll be back next Monday. Thank you for understanding. The emails are sent. Her professors respond with condolences. Her supervisor tells her to take all the time she needs. Mission accomplished. Maura has successfully bought herself a week away from campus with no questions asked. But then, there's just one problem. Big red lie. There was no death in the family, no emergency, no funeral to attend. This was a complete fabrication. Confused, concerned expressions. When police contacted Maura's family days later, they were shocked. Death? What death? Everyone in our family is fine. Her father, Fred Murray, had no idea what she was talking about. So why lie? Why create a fake family tragedy? Theories appearing. Theory 1, she needed an alibi. If Maura was planning to disappear or do something she didn't want people to know about, she needed a cover story, a week-long absence that wouldn't raise immediate red flags. 1 week span. By the time professors or her job realized something was wrong, she'd have a 7-day head start. Theory 2, she was having a breakdown. Maybe Maura was in such a fragile emotional state after that mysterious phone call that she wasn't thinking rationally. She just needed to escape, and the lie was an impulsive decision. Theory 3, someone told her to do it. What if the person who called her 4 days earlier instructed her to make up the story? Tell them there's a family emergency, buy yourself time, then meet me at... That would explain the untraceable calling card. Someone was planning something and needed Maura isolated from her normal life. We may never know the truth, but this premeditated lie suggests that whatever Maura was doing that Monday, it was planned. She knew she'd be gone for a while. The lie premeditated deception. Clue number 3, the rag in the tailpipe route, 112 Haverhill, NH. Now we arrive at the crash scene itself. Let's set the stage. Around 3:30 p.m. on February 9th, Maura leaves UMass campus in her 1996 Saturn sedan. She drives north into New Hampshire. By 7:27 p.m., she crashes on Route 112 in Haverhill, a sharp corner on a dark, rural mountain road. Car hitting snowbank. The crash isn't severe. She slides into a snowbank. Both airbags deploy. The car is damaged but not totaled. When police arrive and examine the vehicle, they find something disturbing. Up of tailpipe, stuffed into the tailpipe, is a rag. Rag being pulled out, evidence tag. Now, if you're not familiar with this method, let me explain why this is so concerning. When you stuff a rag into a car's tailpipe and run the engine in an enclosed space, carbon monoxide builds up inside the vehicle. It's a method that's been used in suicide cases. Some investigators immediately thought, was Maura planning to take her own life? Did she drive to this remote location intending to end it all? Evidence supporting this theory appearing. The theory seems to fit. She was emotionally devastated after that phone call. She lied to buy herself time away from campus. She bought a large amount of alcohol. She drove to an isolated area, but here's where this theory falls apart. Counter evidence appearing in list form. The car was too damaged from the crash to run properly anyway. She packed clothes, toiletries, textbooks. Why pack for suicide? She withdrew nearly all her money, $280. Why need cash? She took items with her when she left the crash scene. Witnesses said she was trying to get the car back on the road to keep driving. Some automotive experts have offered a completely different explanation. In 2004, if your car was producing excessive exhaust smoke, maybe from a blown gasket or engine problems, some people used an old trick, stuff a rag in the tailpipe to temporarily reduce the smoke. Maura's car having engine problems, smoking exhaust. Maura's Saturn had been having mechanical issues. In fact, she'd crashed her father's car just days before and had been driving this Saturn despite its problems. Alternative theory. Maybe the rag wasn't about suicide at all. Maybe it was just Maura trying to nurse a failing car through one more trip. Third option appearing. There's even a third possibility that some investigators have considered. What if someone else put the rag there after Maura left? Suspicious figure approaching the car? If someone picked up Maura, either someone she knew or a predator, they might have tampered with the car to create confusion. Make it look like suicide to throw off the investigation. 3 theories side by side. So we have 3 explanations. 1, suicide attempt. 2, mechanical fix. 3, planted evidence. Which one is true? 20 years later, we still don't know. The rag, 3 theories, no answers. Clue number 4, the alcohol earlier that day, 3:15 p.m. timestamp. Let's rewind to earlier that afternoon. After Maura sent those emails, she had a busy day ahead. At 3:15 p.m., she stops at an ATM. Security cameras capture her withdrawing $280, nearly every dollar in her checking account. Her balance drops to around $10. Money in hand, putting it away carefully. She takes the cash and drives to a local liquor store. Liquor store exterior, then interior. Inside, she browses the aisles and purchases. A bottle of vodka, a bottle of Kahlua, a box of wine, Francia style. Total, about $40 worth of alcohol, a substantial amount for one person. Maura driving away with purchases. She loads everything into her Saturn and begins her drive north toward New Hampshire. Fast forward to crash 7:27 p.m. Hours later, when her car crashes and police examine the vehicle, they find something revealing. Car interior, spilled wine, strong smell. The box of wine has been opened. It's spilled all over the interior. The entire car reeks of alcohol. Police report notes appearing police initial assumption, Maura Murray was drinking and driving. She was intoxicated, lost control, crashed the car. This is a DUI situation. Case closed, right? Young woman drinks too much, crashes, wanders into the woods in a confused state. Tragic accident. But wait. Evidence contradicting this except the witnesses tell a different story. Butch Atwood, the bus driver who stopped to help, spoke with Maura face-to-face. He later told police, she didn't seem drunk. She was shaken up from the accident, but she was speaking clearly, making eye contact, coherent. Faith Westman witness who called 911, Faith Westman, who watched from her window, said the same thing. Maura was moving normally, not stumbling.